What is up, guys? This is Derek aka SkyScope here, bringing you another closers video. So before I start this video, I just want to say thanks for the support on my last video. For me, it did pretty well numbers wise, and I put that video, or I posted it rather, on the closers Reddit, or one of them at least, one of those Reddits, and it seemed to probably pull in a couple more viewers. So just in general, if you guys enjoy this kind of content for closers, or not even this kind of content, but you know, if you just want to see me keep making closers videos, then yeah, keep showing the support, and I'll definitely keep making them for you because I find this game super fun, and if you guys do too, then hopefully we can see another revival with this channel like we kind of did with Elsword when that game was well, not shitty, but because I mean it was always shitty, but back when that game was more relevant and I could actually stand to play it. So yeah, we're gonna get into some of the end game kind of more stuff about closers here in this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the boss mechanics. When I talk about boss mechanics, what I really kind of mean as a term is mechanics that make bosses bosses. So you know, like special states, certain I guess stages or modes. Like just now in this video, I'm trying to keep up with it, what I'll do with this commentary is actually those stones that I just destroyed a little bit earlier. You actually can't damage this boss unless you destroy those stones first, and right here this roar will pretty much outright kill you, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you can, you know, burst and then run around and cheese it with some move, but your goal is to stay inside of that weird bubble thing until it's over, or you're kind of gonna die. All the mechanics that I go over in this video, I probably died to at one point, and I was at that point like, oh shit, that's what I'm supposed to do, because the mechanics in this game, like for the bosses, aren't hard by far, but they're always those things that you might die to one time, and then you look around the room and you're like, oh, okay, I'm stupid for not looking around. And it's kind of refreshing to have that in this kind of style game, because Elsword definitely never brought that to the table. I mean, Elsword were just a big ass DPS race, and I mean the most interesting thing was not making the enemy fall, and in closers you can just pick them up all the time, which isn't a problem, and I don't think there's even like down reduction like damage or whatever. So yeah, well, Elsword and other games didn't have that. This kind of has more important bosses. I think the last game that I had with kind of solid boss mechanics that would really constrict you to having to play around them was Blade and Soul, and you can compare Blade and Soul's mechanics to the boss mechanics in closers, even though they're very different games, because they kind of both revolve around the fact that they want you to play the mechanics while minimizing time, like that you're not dealing DPS. So pretty much what I mean is they want the mechanics to flow well to where you can keep dealing damage, and I think it always like transitions really well, because when I watch like super high like end bosses on like a Korean server or something, now I know that there are mechanics to these bosses that these people are just blowing through really quickly, and we're not even seeing them because just like they're just destroying the boss so fast. And that's kind of always one of the things that I find funny in MMOs, is like if you take a boss just a little bit slower than you normally would, because most MMOs are easy and will let you just steamroll a boss. If you actually just wait a little bit in that boss's like attack cycle, they usually show something relatively cool and interesting that kind of justifies the boss even existing. But yeah, the mechanic kind of preserves that, so then they always are important. And like right here with Alaroon, like Alaroon really doesn't have any particular, I guess you could say, mechanics, you know. She just kind of summons plants, deals a lot of damage around her room, and that's kind of it. You can kind of just trade DPS for the entire time. She might disappear on me like she did one time in that fight, but you know, that's just that. And actually in this boss, this stage is interesting. This is one of like the few times I've actually run this boss, or this stage rather, and the stage is interesting because you see like the floating, I guess, like doors or whatever. They kind of block these these like little divots on the map where you can kind of run to the side and duck off, because you'll see later the main boss will just run through and he'll hit through the entire sweeping lane, and you have to duck inside those little pockets so that you don't get hit. But like I said, first time doing this, I didn't know that, and I actually did destroy like some of the doors just because like Sylvie's AoE is so ridiculous and her range is crazy, so I'll just destroy them anyways. And then I'm looking at it like, holy shit, I was supposed to run in there while I'm sitting dead on the ground, and I'm like, okay, revive, run the dungeon again, and then, you know, clean it up and destroy the boss, because now I know its mechanic. And that's always fun to be like, oh shit, this boss actually has something to challenge me with, rather than me just blowing through it and not thinking once about what I'm doing. So that's like another nod to closers in a way, because it actually has some interesting bosses that can hold my attention. And I think the next boss is probably my favorite one that's out right now, next to Super Nightmare Astaroth. Like, I actually fought like the super version of Astaroth, and it's the fact that he's named Nightmarish Astaroth that reminds me of Nightmare Geese. It just makes me think of like a super strong, ridiculous, like nefarious character in a fighting game that's way stronger than everybody else, like Evil Ryu or fucking Rugal, or like Super Night. It's like something made off of a Mugen. But anyways, I'm rambling about salty bet type shit. But yeah, the Mephisto fight I think is one of the funnest. He'll end up spawning these like walls that you have to run around while he does this geyser and a cone around the room, and he spins while he does it, so you have to constantly run around the room and like dodge through the walls and stuff like that. And one thing that I didn't know that he actually does is Mephisto has a doggo that'll spawn after he goes through like one of his phases, and he'll spawn it, and it doesn't do much in this video to me, but I was just surprised that he even had a doggo in the first place, which I was talking about. When you give a boss like a little bit of time to do some cool shit, they actually surprise you. But yeah, for like the last bit of this video, I want to talk about my recording situation. So for the last couple like months, or even, my Elgato game capture has been like screen tearing like crazy, and that was my main way of capturing videos and whatnot. But now, ever since I've switched to the action game recorder, everything is pretty much fixed. I don't have to deal with any of my recording issues anymore. I can have my videos running at 1080p again, so higher quality is coming back to the channel, and now I can actually commit to doing the .hack playthrough, because before I was super afraid that like an entire episode or an entire session of playing would just get corrupted, and then I'd lose like an entire chunk of a playthrough, and then it's like, oh well, what the hell now? I have to either skip like into a part of the playthrough or just like stop the playthrough, and either one of those seems really ugly to me. So I'm just glad that I got this new action game recorder, and it works perfectly now. I really don't have any problems with it. Hopefully that stays that way, and I can keep pushing out videos for you guys. But this has been Derek, aka SkyScope. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.